in full swing, Frank jumped at the chance to visit this traditional vegetable garden.
Welcome to the beautiful Royal Botanical Gardens in Burlington, Ontario. This is at Veggie Village. So much to see here, including some ethnic gardens. The whole message here is about really the 100-mile diet. How that if we could eat from our own gardens or from our local farmers, we could save money, save on the carbon footprint, and also make sure that things taste really good. There are so many gardens here, but there's one that I gotta tell you is my favorite. Come on. Welcome to Grandma Judy's garden. There's so many lessons here, and this is really just a traditional, old-style vegetable garden. And what does that have included in it? Well, composting. If you want to be a good vegetable gardener, it's all about the soil. Good soil, good sunlight, you're going to have a great garden. Let's say that we're wanting to extend the garden season. You can always build a little cold frame. In the fall, this is going to help us keep things a little bit longer. In the spring, it allows us to get a jump start by getting our seedlings going. If you notice with this vegetable garden, you're going to see some flowers in here, and you're thinking, it's a vegetable garden. Well, these flowers are not only, they look good, but they're edible. Also, you got to remember, marigolds, these guys right over here, they're going to deter a lot of insects. Look at the selection of vegetables that we have over here. Everything from different things like Brussels sprouts to some carrots, Swiss chard, and also some of our squash varieties. When you think about this, all of a sudden think of the salad. Think of the wonderful food that you're going to have. Think about the money you're going to save. Think about how good you're going to look, how strong you're going to feel, and also what good you're going to do for the environment.
Let me see those mussels. Oh, yeah, baby.
That there is the 3-year-old.
Yes.
This one here is the 1.5 years.
There you go.
That's my weight program now.
There's actual mussels in there.
Yeah,
you're like a hot gardener.
But the biggest muscle I use all the time is this one.
Oh, I know. That's why we love you. We have a viewer question for you. This is from Michael. He wants to know, he's got an indoor elephant ear. So he'd like to know if he can cut it down to about the root and store it in the basement for the next spring to put outdoors. Can he do that?
So here's what an elephant ear is. For those that don't know, it's also known as a caladium.
It's a pretty plant.
Isn't that a beautiful looking plant? Caladiums, just like canna lilies, just like your gladioli, those are all tubers, corms that you want to store the roots. So what you want to do is near the end of the season, and now it depends on where you live. In Toronto, you can almost stretch it almost into November, but of course up in Edmonton, you may be harvesting these already. You dig them from the soil, let the foliage die back, cut off the foliage, then you let the dirt on the bulb, the root system itself, the tuber, you let that dirt just kind of dry off on a sunny afternoon. You just dust it off, put it into a shoebox, and then in that shoebox you're going to put a little bit of dry peat moss, cool dark space, store it in the winter time through the winter months, and then you bring it back out in March, pot it, and then you replant it at that time. The key is during the winter months you want to check on it every once in a while, because sometimes it will get a little bit of rot, and if it gets rot you just cut that section of the tuber out. And the key is when you're storing them in the boxes, you want to separate them so that they're not touching each other. But this is a way to extend your dollars, because sometimes these guys here can cost, you know, $8, $10.
Yeah.
And year after year, you're going to get more that you can actually cut off these little ones. You start to have more divisions.
And why not try and save them, right? We're all about that these days.
Or if you're lazy.
Why purchase more? Or if you're lazy. No, but I would say if you're lazy, you're probably just going to go out and buy a new one the next year.
You put it in the compost pile.
Yeah.
You put it in the compost pile, and if it was $8, there's a lot of bottles of wine that didn't last that long in your home either.
Very good. The short answer is yes, he can. Go ahead and store them.
Yes, you can.
Fantastic.
Yes, you can, for sure. A little bit of work and a little bit of love. You're going to have a great looking elephant year next year.
Very nice.